Racing UK's countdown to Royal Ascot begins with the post-Jubilee celebratory theme, and that is the best of British, picking out some of the home team to fend off the international challengers, if indeed there are any. First up, it has to be Frankel. He's carried all before him so far as a 2-year-old, 3-year-old, and on his reappearance, of course, in the Lock-Inch, where he repelled the likes of Acceleration once again. Is he being campaigned along the right sort of lines, despite what everybody else seems to desire on both sides of Australia and here?
You know, people are getting slightly itchy trigger fingers, I think, about the placement of Frankel. One or two accusations that he's being unadventurously campaigned, but hold your horses, lads. I think that the best comparison with this horse many years ago is Brigadier Gerard. Dominant 2-year-old, dominant 3-year-old, dominant 4-year-old. But even at this point in his career, I think Brigadier Gerard only had the one run over 10 furlongs in the previous year's Champions Stakes. Started off at a mile at 4, then stretched out to longer distances, and there hasn't really been a suitable 10 furlong Group 1 for Frankel thus far. So the Lock-Inch was a perfectly natural starting point for this year. Some would say the Prince of Wales Stakes at Royal Ascot would have been the better next stopping off point, but you have to understand Connection's temptation to maybe run twice over there, take easy pickings in the Queen Anne. Everyone's seen this plenty of times, Alex, but how can you get sick of it watching poetry in motion like this?
Fantastic. Acceleration in the slipstream. Dubai Gold rode along, and Frankel is going to make good horses, Group 1 and classic placed horses, look pretty pedestrian from the front. Big crowd that day, Frankel, placards left, right and centre, great occasion, and it's the next stepping stone towards where they think he ought to be going, obviously. And
the refrain is from some quarters that he's beating the same horses, and it's true, I get that completely, but he's beginning to beat them by longer distances. Acceleration beaten by 5 there, that's the longest distance he's beaten him by. Dubai Gold likewise, I think, he beat him by 9 there. So he's just a hell of a horse, and it's not really a betting issue as regards the Queen Anne, but it is one for the purists. Here we pick him up in the QE2 on Champions Day, and this was a right good field. We had Immortal Verse in the field, we had Acceleration, and Frankel, after his regular sparring partner Bullet Train departs the scene, Frankel powers on and on and on. He beats Acceleration, he beats Immortal Verse, both Group 1 winners on the previous start, Dick Turpin, Dubai Gold, etc. So it's a savage performance from a horse who could illuminate this season if he stays healthy and gets the chance.
Let's hope so. We'll see the next stepping stone for him. A logical one at that as well. How do you see his season progressing? Not in terms of how he gets it done and who he beats, but the races at the right time.
I really hope he goes Queen Anne, possibly Sussex Stakes, definitely York for the International, the Juddmonte International, and a possible showdown with Camelot, and then maybe Champion Stakes, and then in fantasy racing time, a possible rethink on a trip to America. But lots of things still have to go right. Many rivers to cross before we talk about that.
Obvious starting point, isn't it, in our Royal Ascot countdown, the best of British. With Frankel involved, so we should probably call it the very best of British.